One other interesting thing that I think how political correctness happened, or at least again, going back to everyone's intention, I think the intention of where political correctness started was, hey, let's do this right. Let's be intentional about who we're talking about. That's a great intention. I am behind it. When it becomes so, you can't speak or say anything because everyone's going to be offended, that's where shit gets weird. And I think it's a product of how things shift over the years. And so good times make weak people. Weak people make hard times make strong people make good times. That cycle repeats. So let's start at the Great Depression. Real fucking hard times. Those hard times made strong people. Those strong people made really good times. We've been living in these good times, so a lot of us haven't really had to go through anything really hard in real comparison. Great Depression, you didn't know if you were going to eat or not. You had to go fight to just find work to make sure you weren't homeless and your family was fed. Some people still find a version of that, but in comparison, we're still way better off than we were back then. So because we don't have any of these true survival threats, we almost manufacture them because our biology, all of that wiring is still there. I'm offended, I'm being attacked, I have to fight and put this energy so I can survive. And it's no longer our physical stuff that survive, it's our identity and our projected personhood that we've put out on the internet or that we now identify with or whatever. And so in essence, in comparison, we've made weak people. And I'm not shitting on anybody. I'm just saying in comparative life experiences, it's good that we've had good lives, but it makes some of these more not survival issues come to the surface. And in the grand scheme of things, do they necessarily matter for the survival or advancement of our species?
Joe, you don't understand. We got to cancel the footballs.
All right, Alex Jones. What I want to go back. I feel like I'm going back a whole lot, but
it's all good.
You've brought up so many good points, talking about how culture seems to evolve to like good times create weak people and bad times create strong people or something. You said something along those lines. I think a lot of it's true, and like I think you started talking about like in the 20s you had the stock market crash, then you had the really all the way through the 30s it was the Great Depression, and the Dust Bowl was a real prominent chapter in the Midwestern communities, and then you have World War II, which good God. But if you were growing up in those times, you had so much more to worry about that was a literal matter of life and death.
Right.
And it makes today's issues feel trivial. And they are trivial in comparison to that, because that was like literal survival, and today's is about changing culture and society. That doesn't mean that they're not important. That doesn't mean that they're not things that need to continue to evolve and change. But there are a lot of people, if you try to expand and look around the world, that are struggling day in, day out. And we've talked about that before, about people in other countries where you might have the average income per person for a year is $450.
Or fuck, even look at a lot of our big cities and the amount of homeless people that we have that we don't like to talk about. You know, it's easy to externalize the problems and the poor outside of our borders because we have so many screens telling us we're not poor as a culture, when we just have, you know, people who know how to portray it and pretend like they're rich. Let me go rent a Lamborghini and film a bunch of shit, and guys, look, I'm a millionaire, buy my shit. No one knows the difference because it's all queued up and visualized just right. Whereas we've got the same shit here. Sure, it's different and maybe worse other places, but it's the same shit.